my year, yeah.
What is up, everybody? Good morning. Happy Tuesday. This is the morning show here on Stock Market TV. Spencer Israel, JC Parets. No Steve today. He'll be back tomorrow. We have Kenny Glick today. We have Patrick Donawilla today, I hope. And we have you. And we got the charts. And we got a couple of earnings. And we got the crypto. And we got the futures. We got things. So let's talk about it. Smash that like button. And here we go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. It's a bull market. I don't know if you heard. The Dolphins won on Monday Night Football. How about that?
Is that why you're wearing like tealish?
This is like there's no teal in
like
this.
Teal-y. It's in the family.
There's no teal, but my 4-year-old was at her grandmother's house, my wife's mother, the other day, and they were talking about like the colors of the Dolphins, and she's like, yeah, orange and blue. And my daughter goes, no, Gigi, it's teal.
Gotta come correct.
Proud moment there when I heard that story. Well done, child. Well done.
Gotta come correct.
I'm going to the Sixers game tonight. Sixers-Knicks in Philly.
Ooh, that's gonna be good.
I was thinking about wearing my Heat jersey just to piss everybody off.
That's gonna be a good one.
What do you think?
Don't be that guy. That irritates me. That's a personal pet peeve of mine. When people wear jerseys for teams that aren't in the game, it annoys me.
But like, what about like concerts? Like if you wear a Motley Crue t-shirt to a Motley Crue concert, like that's also not cool. Like you want to wear like a Rolling Stones t-shirt or something. No?
I don't have a take on that. I just feel like it irritates me when I see like a random ass jersey.
But I'm not going to do it because, I'm going to be there with some business colleagues and whatnot. So, I'd like to just enjoy the game instead of having a bunch of asshole New Yorkers and Philly people yelling at me. Right.
Yeah.
If I was going with my drunk college friends and we were just going like to a game, that would be one thing. But this isn't going to be that. We're going to a civilized bull market dinner before, so I'm not going to do it. I'm going to be incognito.
There you go.
I'll be incognito. Right?
There you go.
What do those people hate more? New Yorkers and Philly people. Do they hate Boston more or Miami more?
No, they hate. Come on. We all hate Boston. Everyone in New York agrees that Boston sucks for a variety of reasons.
So you think, yeah. But there are other sports involved in that animosity. Yeah. Specifically basketball in the current generation. You think that both Philly and New York both hate Boston more? Yeah. Really? Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You guys agree with that in the chat?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Boston. All right, that's a fair take. I would defer to you on that because you're in New Jersey, so you got some New York and some Philly in you, right?
No. Yeah. I don't have any Philly in me. No.
Strazza hates Philadelphia, dude.
Yeah.
He hates Philadelphia.
Yeah, a lot of New Yorkers do.
I like Philly. I got no beef with Philly. Philly, great food.
I got no beef with Philly either, honestly.
Listen, does 95% of Philadelphia suck? Yes. You can make the argument that 99% of Baltimore sucks. I like going to both, but I only go to that little fraction that doesn't suck. So, like, I always have a good time in Baltimore or Philly,
Yeah.
All right, let's go. Come on.
Let's go. All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got the Dow futures flat this morning, 44,500. This is some bull market. That 50,000 is getting here real quick. S&P 500 futures also flat, also new all-time highs above 6,000. NASDAQ 100 futures, new all-time highs, 21,220 this morning on the NASDAQ 100 futures, also flat. So not much happening in equities. 30-year bond futures down 50 basis points, down to 117. Crude oil up 1%, up to 69. Copper down 1%, near 420. Gold flat, 2,600 and change. Silver up 40 bips, just under 31, with the volatility index up to 15. I might add. And over in the funny money, we got Bitcoin getting clobbered this morning, down 3,400 points. That's almost 4% to the downside for Bitcoin after hitting 90,000 in the overnight session. Ethereum also down 4.5%, down 150, down to 3220. Solana still above 200, but down 7% this morning. Binance still above 600, but also down almost 7% this morning. Total crypto market cap, Spencer Israel hitting an overnight high of 2.998 trillion, now down to 2.81 trillion, with the Bitcoin dominance back above 60%. What stands out from this morning's
2.998.
futures?
2.998. Wow.
2.998 in the overnight session. 2.998542. So I mean, talk about getting close to that 3 trillion. Not quite though. Not quite.
This is a funny one. Yeah, Dawson's patting himself on the back for a screw up that turned out to be a good thing. In bull markets, things just roll your way, right? Bull
Sometimes they do.
market,
That's right.
things just roll your way. So you were gonna sell calls, you didn't, and you forgot about the earnings anyway. So you would have gotten rolled over this morning, but it all worked out for you. So it's okay. So, Shopify is up 19% now this morning. So
Wow.
hey, congratulations on not taking that trade. Things just go your way. Damn, 2.99 trillion. That's nice. That's a nice number. So yeah, everyone has their own, especially with crypto, right? Everyone's got their own personal indicator for like when we enter like the mania phase, and I don't think we've like come anywhere close to that. We talked about that yesterday. That was kind of one of the themes of the stream that you did with Louis, which I'll link to in the chat right now. Which is like someone actually asked in the chat, "Am I too late for crypto? Did I miss the move?" And it's like, no, you didn't, right? You missed some move, sure, but you did not miss the move. And that was sort of, I liked the way you guys put that yesterday. So I'll drop the link in the chat. If you missed it yesterday at around 4 o'clock, Jason and Louis had to go live again, frankly, because there was just too much to talk about in crypto. So there it is in the
Every
chat.
time we go live, crypto goes up. So now with crypto down this morning, should we be going live again and pump our bags?
I don't
What do
know.
the kids say these days, Spencer? Pump
No,
your
oh
bags.
yeah, pumping your bags. Yeah.
Do
We
you,
don't have any
pump your
bags. I
bags?
mean,
Tell me about how you behave with your bags.
one overnight session does not make bags.
Listen, you don't want to. All I know is you don't want to hold other people's bags, right? We call those bag holders.
This is true. This
right?
is true.
You don't want to do that. All right. So I got something important to talk about today. I just want to make sure that I'm getting the dates right. I don't want to bring out any fake news, right? Too much fake news out there as it is, right, Spencer?
Yeah,
You
sure.
agree with that?
Yeah, all right. Fake news that's so 2016, man. No one says that anymore.
Nobody says fake news anymore.
No one says that anymore.
I don't know that I agree with that. Is that true, folks?
Dude,
In the chat, you
people,
guys agree that nobody says fake news anymore?
that was part of the vernacular for a few years there, but I haven't heard anyone say like honestly say that in like in a while.
Are we allowed to say trannies again now? Now that the country voted that people should stop being so sensitive about things? Are we allowed to call the Dow Transports trannies?
You can call them whenever you want on your show.
Because I hate to tell you, those trannies were here before people started cutting off their Johnsons. Like, so
it doesn't offend me, but I'm not the group.
First.
Doesn't matter. Whatever.
All right. So let's talk about something important. Let's throw up slide 2. So this was on January the 19th of 2024. Right?
The 19th. What happened? What happened on that day?
We had monster breakouts in the fourth quarter. We had huge breadth thrusts in the markets across the board. And the question was going into 2024, was that ripper in the fourth quarter evidence of the end of markets? Or was it the beginning of a new leg higher? That was a valid question to be asking at the time coming into this year. And what I said is that we have 5 charts. We call them the Fab 5 before the nosedive. That's what we call them. So in other words, if the market was going to roll over, these 5 charts were going to roll over. If these 5 charts were above the prior cycle's highs, then we have to err on the bullish side. We have to err on buying stocks. That was the thought process. This was January of this year. So there are 5 charts. Ready? We'll rip through them one by one. Technology, breaking out above the prior cycle's highs. The argument is if we're above those highs, can't be bearish. Next chart. Same exact thing. These are industrials. This is so technology, largest sector in the market. Industrials, the one that's highest correlated with the overall market. Also breaking out of this base to new all-time highs. Again, this is this January, 10 months ago or so. Next chart is home builders, one of the largest and most important components of consumer discretionary, also completing that base, making new all-time highs. And this was in January. Next chart. The New York Stock Exchange Broker Dealers Index, also completing this massive base, breaking out to new all-time highs. And then the last one was semiconductors, of course, breaking out of that monster base to new all-time highs. This was in January of this year. The argument was very simple. If these charts, the prices are above the prior cycle's highs, you can't be bearish. You can, but it would be dumb to be bearish. It would be dumb to sell stocks and not participate in the bull market. From a longer term time horizon, from an intermediate to longer term. So in other words, any corrections that fall within the market with these charts above the prior cycle's highs are just that, just corrections. Not the end of the world, just corrections. That was the argument. As it turned out, that wound up being incredibly helpful all year. We made a lot of money because we listened to those 5 charts. Now, the reason that I'm saying this is not for some victory lap or whatever. It has nothing to do with that. This is strictly to point out that that strategy worked, and we now have 4 charts today that is the exact same strategy. So let's go to those one by one. The first one is Amazon. This is a stock that represents 22% of the consumer discretionary index. It's 5% of the NASDAQ, and it is completing this multi-year base to make new all-time highs. So the argument is, if Amazon is above the prior cycle's highs, it's really hard to be bearish this market. Obviously, Amazon specifically as well, hard to be bearish Amazon, but hard to be bearish this overall market if Amazon looks like this. Next chart. Spencer? Fonz? Bueller?
Somebody?
Anybody? There it is. Here's the Dow Jones Transportation Average. Looks exactly like Amazon. Completing this multi-year base, making new all-time highs, and above the prior cycle's peak. Next. Please, somebody, anybody, who's controlling these charts?
Fonz.
Controlling these charts. Get your shit together. I am preaching about the 4 most important charts. You understand how important these charts are. Notice how they all look exactly the same. Amazon completing this base, new all-time highs. Trannies completing this base, new all-time highs. Small caps completing this exact same base, new all-time highs. And then the 4th chart, are you ready? Give it to them. Bitcoin completing this base, making new all-time highs. So the argument that we were making in January about those Fab 5 charts are the exact same argument I am making today about these 4. The Fantastic 4, right? If you will. If these 4 charts are above their prior cycle's highs and you want to be bearish, good luck.
You're saying like bullish or bearish, like generally speaking, or like those specific charts?
The first thing we want to do as market participants, traders, investors, regardless of time horizon, is identify the type of market environment we're in, and then decide which tools and strategies are best for that particular type of market environment. So if we're in a bull market and we're seeing more stocks making new highs than we've seen in years, are your short strategies and mean reverting strategies probably doing well in that environment? No, probably not, right? Trend following strategies and buying breakouts, those kind of strategies are working out great. There's a time and a place. So if your goal, which it's mine, is to identify the type of market environment we're in and then decide how to attack these 4 charts, like the 5 in January, these 4 charts are a great indicator. If we're above those prior cycle highs in these 4 charts, you got to be bullish. You got to be buying risk assets. You got to be buying. I mean, I don't tell anybody what to do. I don't give a shit what you guys do. I'm saying, like, philosophically speaking, you got to, as in I will, You got to be buying stocks. You got to be buying risk assets. You got to be buying crypto. You have to be allocating not just money, but time, resources, and attention to finding opportunities in risk assets. And that's my thesis. Spencer Israel, how do you feel about all that? How do I do?
So again, just my question was, and your answer was, it was more generally speaking, right? You like it's hard to
It's
be
generally speaking, and I mean, I'm not going to buy the S&P 600 index. I'm not going to buy the Dow Jones Transportation Average. So those are not relevant. But Amazon and Bitcoin, yes, right? Like now,
Sure.
you can look to transports as an indicator for the market or the economy. You could buy transportation stocks. You could look at S&P 600 as expanding breadth. Maybe you can buy a small cap ETF if you want. I'd rather be in the individual names personally. So there are trades there in those. There are definitely trades in Bitcoin and Microsoft, Freudian slip, and Amazon. But I think it's bigger than that. It's more macro than that, right? You're not thinking fourth dimensionally, Spencer.
So then the flip side is the same logic applies on the downside to this level, right? To these prior cycle highs, right?
If you're bearish this market and you hate Trump and his cohorts, and it just makes you so angry that stocks are doing so well after he got elected, like if you're one of those people, in order for you to be proven right, I think that these 4 charts need to fail and they need to lose these highs.
Yeah.
Right? If you're one of those angry folks.
If you want to be bearish, wait for that confirmation.
I think so.
Yeah.
I personally would get much more cautious if that happened, right? But like to blindly be like, I hate the president and all his friends, so I'm just going to short stocks. Like that's dumb, right? I think.
And you know what's interesting, and this is purely like anecdotal, but like my timeline is divided right now because I follow a lot more technicians since working with you. So the technicians are all in your camp, right? You know, you're kind of like leading the charge there, but like, you know, the chart guys and gals are all looking at the same charts, and they're pretty much in agreement that this is super bullish across the board. But then the non-chart people are like totally freaking out, right?
Yeah.
And so there's just like dichotomy here.
It's great to see it. They're yelling at the Federal Reserve. They're yelling at the CFTC. They're yelling at the SEC. It's everybody's fault. Like they're not like looking at themselves like, oh, I've just been fighting trends, so I'm an asshole. No. It's the Fed, you suck. And look at what you're doing and the memes. And like, they're so angry. And especially the libs, right? Because like, if you're just like one of these value investors or whatever, and you don't care about politics, like that's frustrating in and of itself.
I mean,
but if you're one of those people,
it's a whole separate thing.
No. But think about it. If you're one of these people that you're just a value investor and you're just getting your face ripped off because you can't wrap your head around following price trends, that's one thing. But if you're one of those people and you're a hardcore lib, so Trump is getting all the credit from all of the gains that are happening in the market, and you're getting your face ripped off and you hate him and his friends, like that is the worst. Like that is the worst way to live. And I'm seeing it. And I see these people that are freaking out. And again, politics aside, it has nothing to do with politics. It is hilarious. Like it is so funny.
Yeah, I mean, and there are lots of. It's not just like Trump. You know, there is pick your headline, right? It's Warren Buffett stockpiling cash like he's never done before. It's that weird, that really bizarre jobs number we got, was it 2 weeks ago or last week, where like the economy gained like no jobs in the prior month. Every weird economic data point is another, you know, arrow in the quiver for people who are skeptical, right? So it's not just the election. There are other things out there, but it's all of that stuff on one side and it's the charts on the other, right? And there's a split down the middle, and it seems like everyone on one side's bullish and everyone on the other side is not. It's just a weird thing. I don't remember being this split like this, really.
2016. What were you doing in 2016, Spencer?
What was I doing? I was dollar cost averaging. I'm not really sure. I don't know how to answer that. I don't recall. I don't remember my own like opinions.
How many
like
technical analysts were you friends with?
Years ago, right?
How many technical analysts were you friends with in 16?
A lot less than I am now, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spencer's in with the technicians, right? You're in with the crew, right?
Yeah.
Caleb wants us to talk about the bullish fundamentals and the macro drop and the macro backdrop. Maybe Caleb, you come in and talk about the fundamentals and the macro backdrop. I don't particularly see.
Yeah, here, you know what, Caleb, I'll send you a link right now. Our guest for today had to reschedule. Unfortunately, our guest was going to be Jim Carroll, who you may know as the Vixologist
Sure.
on Twitter. He had to reschedule. So Caleb, I'll shoot you a DM right now.
Yeah, come on up, Caleb, and chat. Do we have Kenny in the house?
Oh, do we have Kenny in the house? Not yet. Kenny in a few moments.
All right, so not much happening in markets. Crude oil pushing 1%. Equities are flat. I mean, it's pretty impressive how well the equities have held in there, right? Like I remember saying last Tuesday night as futures were flying and it was obvious that Trump was winning by a landslide. I'm like, okay, this is great and everything, and we're making money, and the libs are freaking out. Like all that stuff was great, but they gotta stick the landing. They gotta stick the landing. You got FOMC on Thursday, and they stuck the landing last week, and then came in yesterday. They came in yesterday hot, and they're hanging in there. And I got to tell you, as bullish as I've been, and as bullish as I was last week, still pretty damn impressive. I got to tell you, has even exceeded my expectations, and I had some pretty damn high expectations.
Yeah, that's always the question when you get like this huge breakout, like whether it was last week or whether it was China, like 2 months ago now. But can they stick it, right? Like can they hold the gains for that day? Great. Can they hold the gains for the next day? Great. 2 days from now, right? Every day becomes another case for that breakout holding, right? So they stuck it. So I don't.
Is very impressive. One thing that I am noticing is the sort of the lack of, as strong as American markets have been, not seeing that in Japan. You notice?
We haven't talked about shall I say random international markets for a minute on this show. Japan's not that random. But
Europe not doing very good. In fact, the Euro Stoxx 50 hit new multi-month lows yesterday. So it's interesting the lack of confirmation that we're seeing out of some of these other countries. So something to keep in mind.
Yeah,
German
that's a good
DAX.
point.
The German DAX doesn't look terrible, but you would think it'd be doing better considering how strong U.S. markets.
That's a very good point. We've been talking so much about what's been working, not so much about what hasn't been working, right? And we know that the defensive sectors are going to lag in the U.S., but what other areas aren't working? So international is not working as well, right? We talked yesterday about Bitcoin underperforming relative to the, shall I say, wilder things down the crypto cap scale, the meme coins, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, that makes sense,
right?
Dude, MicroStrategies was up 25% yesterday.
Yeah, that's a lot, man. That's nuts.
Alfonso calls me. He's like, JC, so many doubles. Everything's doubling. Everything's doubling.
I know.
That's a good thing. Everything's doubling.
Is that what he sounded like? All right, we do have Kenny here. We could bring him on. But
I have a project for Kenny to work on. Go ahead.
You have a project for Kenny to work on? Oh boy, I'm afraid.
It's been a long time coming. They ain't come from my club, they took it. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Hola. Yeah.
Never be a beggar whose golden dreams will not come true. Or will I go from rags?
Great soundtrack. What's up, y'all?
Fantastic. Kenny, I got a project for you. You know the reggae song, "People of Springfield, please don't eat my cat."
Why would you do that? Eat something
Something
else.
else.
Yes.
Right. You know, great song.
Yeah.
So what people are forgetting is that not only are they eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, they're eating the pets of the people who live there.
Who live there?
They've also been memeing the dogs. They've been memeing the cats.
No memeing.
They've been memeing the animals of all of the people who live there. So we need a remix. And you know, because of your talents and the talents of our studio team, we need a remix to the reggae song, maybe a hip hop version, maybe another reggae song. I don't know, but they are memeing the dogs. They are memeing the cats. So just
bro, I hate to break this to you. There's about 100 versions of that song. You got to go dig. Go dig.
I haven't gotten down that rabbit hole.
There's like 20 techno versions of it alone.
Of course.
Eating the dogs, eating the cats. Oh yeah, it goes on forever. Yeah.
I really like the Michael Saylor one. We call them poor. We call them poor. People who use fiat, we call them poor. We call them, right? That's a good one.
I don't know.
And it's like a beautiful blonde DJ, you know?
But shout out to Stock Market Mike. He knows that's Hendry. That's Hendry's song. Exactly. Hendry. Now go get your shine box. What's up, boys and girls?
New all-time highs across the board. Mr. Kenny Glick, are we participating or are we player hating?
I'm a doggy coin fan. I've been in when they called it doggy coin. And I told this story 1,000 times when I first started buying crypto. It was like I was at a donut shop looking at the list of stocks of crypto. My buddy, at the time, you had to buy Bitcoin first to then buy the other coins. You couldn't go directly to those coins. So I was just like, hey, what's Ripple? I'm a big Dead fan. Let me get some Ripple. Let me get some Tron. And I was like, hey, what's this doggy coin? And that's when my friend said, nah, that one's stupid. He just invented it because he has a coin. I'm like, oh, but what makes the other ones not stupid? Give me some doggy coin. And I was in it before the SNL move when Elon Musk was in there. So I sold some in anticipation of it going to $1 that day. It never hit the buck. Sold it on the way back down at 50 cents. I'm still in. So I'm still in from the 005 original. I bought more at 7. I bought more at 12. So I'm hoping that this thing runs to $1. Why not? I think it hit 31 cents the other day, right? Or something like that. I haven't checked today.
$43 billion in market capitalization.
Wow. I'm in.
If that doesn't make value investors freak out, I don't know what does. It is pretty fun watching these people freak out when I tell them the market cap. They really do not like it at all.
I don't know.
Tell me you don't own any without telling me you don't own any.
Yeah. My friend said it the best. He's like, is it just one of those number games where people are buying because number go up? I'm like, yes, number go up. Let's buy.
Oh, excuse me. I apologize to all the Doge community. It is now 53 billion. 53 billion. Excuse me. Sorry if anybody was offended by the lack of market capitalization. 53 billion for the Doge.
Just to put that into context, that's on par with Allstate, JD.com, AutoZone, Phillips 66, Monster Beverage, Square/Block. Yeah.
I think if you're OG, you get to call it doggy coin. I'll never.
Carvana.
I don't know.
Do one.
For somebody who has a nickname for everything, Kenny, the money line, again, I hate to keep coming back to this point. You know, you're killing me, Smalls.
The money line paid us really nicely.
You're killing your father, Larry.
The money line was, I mean, talk about money stocks. I mean, PayPal, Sophie, Affirm, UPST, great action. I mean, this is amazing.
All right, give us a name. What are we trading today?
I'm kind of sleepwalking today, but you know what? Grab is in play, GRAB. We were waiting for that to come out of the Andy Dufresne. It popped last night, and it's giving it Jerry Orr back right now. So I'm not too happy about this. I held some overnight, and it's getting slammed right now. So if it doesn't hold 450, I'm a little concerned here, Jerry. So if it doesn't hold 450, it's probably giving it all back to 441. But if it holds, I'm buying more. I'm taking a little beating on it right now. And NU finally broke over the 1597. So NU had a little pop today. I think it's an upgrade. I'm not a fan of buying upgrades, but watching it. And of course, the market's slightly red this morning. What is this? I don't understand. I don't compute. So I'm just looking at the Qs. They've already tried to go green and failed. So we're finding some resistance on the Qs right now. But volatility still at 0. And, I'm just waiting for something to do. But I'm going to focus on NU grab. Home Depot also is in play today. Big gap. just not enough volume to take it serious. And the Lunar, LUNR, that was awesome yesterday. We got the dip, we got the rip, we got the rip, and we got the roll. So Lunar's in play. And another space stock, SIDU. I don't know what this one is, but anything with the word space involved, I've just putting, I've been putting them on the list. And this one was popping and dropping, just got hammered down. So that's basically the list. Small list.
Dude, I love the strategy of anything that has moon in it or space or anything like that, getting involved. I mean, that is sound fundamental analysis there, Kenny. I appreciate that sort of thing. But and joke like that is funny, but that's real though. Like for real.
Pin action, baby. Yeah, same thing. They get all the basket stocks, same thing as always. Trends and fads. Back, I mean, guys haven't been trading as long as I have, but I remember when there wasn't as many. Now it's every week we're on to something new and exciting. I remember when superconductors were a thing. Whatever happened to that? Superconductors. Then you had the 3D printing. I mean, there's a fad.
5G.
Oh, it's incredible. But AI, I don't think AI is a fad. That's why I'm logging in. I don't think space is a fad. The robot stocks, they've been pretty good. And look, ASTS got us a nice pop on it yesterday. So
100%.
Really good action. And again, for us, we're just looking for what's moving next and, put the money back into the queues. So any dip on the queues, we're still buying. Big Al just unveiled to me that he actually bought into the Trump rally. So usually something that my dad doesn't do, he's adding money at 80 to the QQQ. So for all you guys that think people are going to be cashing out of this market, my dad's still putting money into this market.
So Big Al putting money into the market. What about Christopher Walken? Have you gone walking through the charts lately?
It's crazy. When he calls me, he's mostly day trader right now. He's skeptical. Crazy, Kenny. Market, it's too high. It's too high. Crazy. Whatever that means. I've had this conversation about 20 times in the last couple of days about the market being too high. To who? To who? To you? Because you've been watching it for 30 years? Somebody's waking up today and wants in. A nickel bag gets sold in the park. I want in. Anyway, I don't know. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of everything right now, especially if Doggy Coin goes to $1.
I'm a fan.
That's right. So what are you guys doing? You guys ready?
I'm gonna be swinging today, and then I'm going to the Knicks Sixers game tonight.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'll be wearing my Jimmy Butler jersey. I'm sure they'll love me.
That's right. You're a big Butler fan, right?
That's right.
Jimmy
He's the man.
Buckets.
The only people who don't like Jimmy Butler are people from Philly.
No, yeah, actually, I'm a fan.
How can you not?
Yeah, there's a reason they don't like him.
Well, no, I get that. It's not just their anger and inferiority complex. It's also for good reason.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Kenny's going live. Actually, Kenny's live in his room right now. He's live he's only been live for I don't know, half hour at this point. Trading through the open throughout the day. Hit thebit.com, get in, risk-free trial. Do it. You will not regret it. Hit thebit.com.
Yeah, somebody talked to me about this grab, by the way. It was one of you guys that got me involved in this name. So I blame you if this is a loss.
The Uber of Southeast Asia.
That's what it is? All right, cool.
Don't blame me for grab.
Hopefully it holds 450. All right, I'll see you guys later.
Man. Adios. Kenny Glick, ladies and gentlemen. His impressions. He's got to do Boris, the Russian guy.
What, like every generic Russian Boris?
Yeah, he does a great. He's from Brooklyn, so he's got he's good with the Italian. He's good with the Russian.
Yeah.
Does a great Christopher Walken.
He does. Although that's somewhat of a mainstream impression. Anyway, whatever. We have
he does a machismo Italian, like a really, really machismo Italian guy. It's so good.
If you grow up in this city, you should be able to do an Italian impression. Or nearby. We have Caleb Franzen in the house. Should I bring him in?
Please.
All right.
Jay, we've been friends for a long time. Make the call.
I mean, this is pretty professional, guys.
Nice show you got going here.
Mr. Franzen, what's up, my man?
Dude,
it looks like you're in some palace or something.
Yeah, he looks like you are in a boardroom in in St. Petersburg in a palace.
Dude, you're in Monte Carlo or some shit.
I'm in the Parliament building in Bucharest. No, I'm kidding. But I am in Bucharest, but this is just my Airbnb.
Bucharest, St.
Dude,
Petersburg. What's
Same
the
thing.
difference?
Same thing. Yeah.
dude, you're like royalty right now. Look at this guy with his bling on. You know, you got gold all behind you. I'm
The
sure there's
hell?
plenty of rich mahogany and leather-bound books and whatnot.
Is it a bull market in Bucharest?
It's a bull market worldwide, as JC already knows. I mean, come on.
Well, I certainly thought it
Really?
was nice to see the market agrees with me, right? I mean,
Yeah,
that's what's important.
right.
It's not whether Caleb agrees with me; it's whether the market agrees with me.
Wait, so Caleb, tell us about this bullish, and I'm not trying to fight you on it, but
Yeah.
tell us about this bullish
Please.
economic data, because I only get like the bad news is what comes to the top, right? I only get that pushed in my face all the time. So what's the good news?
Yeah, and look, that's most people, right? And you know, my background is in macro, but the way I approach markets and investing is really through the eyes of a technician. But I keep an eye on everything that's happening in macro pretty frequently. Spencer, is it possible for me to actually share my screen?
You can do that. Yeah, in the middle there's that little
Yep.
button that
Awesome.
will let you do that.
Because I came prepared, man. I mean, this was ad hoc here, but you know, let's talk about it.
What's
This is the first one that I actually wanted to cover. Are we good here, Spencer?
Yeah, what is this? This is
Perfect.
okay.
So this is consumer expectations for unemployment over the next year. And we could see that their expectations for the unemployment rate have been falling, right? Basically for the entirety of 2024 after peaking in 2022. This is great news right here, right? So if expectations about the labor market are improving, that's obviously a very good sign, particularly when we have an unemployment rate that's pretty damn stable at 4.1%. If we want to keep talking about the labor market, we can also talk about average hourly earnings on a year-over-year basis. So we're seeing that nominal wages are growing 4.0% while inflation is right around 2%, right? So we have real wage growth. And look, you know, we're actually seeing wage gains accelerate here on a nominal basis. This is fantastic. We can continue talking about the labor market. You know, I know that we had a very disappointing non-farm payroll data for the month of October. But if we look at ADP private employment, right, this is a very, very important metric as well that really got swept under the rug. You know, at the time that we got that non-farm payroll data, we had 233,000 private jobs created in the month of October, according to ADP. And if we look at the trend of private employment, this keeps hitting new all-time highs, right? This is really strong data. If we also want to look at total construction spending in the United States, this is right at all-time highs. Maybe you could argue that we're stabilizing here, but this is far, far from looking bearish, right?
Or you could argue that's just inflation.
Look, I mean, this is outpacing inflation, right?
Okay. All right.
You know, yeah, is my immediate response to that. And then,
All right.
you know, let's talk about the ISM data as well, right? We have services in expansionary territory. We have new orders that are in expansionary territory. We have employment finally got out of contractionary territory here in orange. And this is now showing expansion as well, right? And look, you know, I pulled these charts up in 5 minutes to talk about, you know, some of the key things that are really kind of standing out to me right here, right now. And so, you know, the list goes on and on and on. We're certainly not in an environment where, like, look, if I wanted to, I could be super bearish on macro as well, right? I can come on here and highlight a lot of the individual data points. But if we're going to use macro in our approach to investing, and maybe a lot of us shouldn't be doing that, but I think if we are going to, we need to look at the weight of the evidence here, right? And in my opinion, the weight of the evidence for the past 18 to 24 months has been an improving environment. And I think we also need to remember, stocks don't bottom and go up on good news. They bottom on less worse news and trend higher as conditions just generally improve.
That's true.
Can you say that again for the people in the back, Caleb? What you just said is so important. Say it again. Guys, pay attention to what he just said.
Stocks do not bottom on good news. They bottom on less worse news and rise on improving conditions or on conditions that are better than expectations, right? So it's on a relative basis. These numbers don't operate in a vacuum. They operate on a relative basis versus market expectations.
So important.
Do you think, Caleb, that people generally assume that the economy is more volatile than it actually is? Pandemics notwithstanding, there's not actually a ton of volatility there.
I don't know. I mean, some of these data points can get pretty mixed. I mean, there's one thing called the Citigroup Economic Surprise Index, and that's just generally kind of measuring, you know, the degree with which economic data is coming in better or worse than expectations and by a specific magnitude. And, you know, that's been rising, right? So that's generally us that economic data basically for the past 3 months or more has been coming in a lot better than expectations, right? This is why we've seen yields in the dollar remain elevated while asset prices are still trending higher. I came out a few weeks ago and said yields don't matter anymore. And I was actually being a little bit facetious, but I think all year in 2024, we've seen the markets broadly do well regardless of what yields are doing, right? And so if our main job here is to be an investor and make money in this market, we actually probably don't really need to be paying attention to yields in this market environment because asset prices are doing well regardless.
All right, can we get back to something that's important? Are you done with this ISM stuff?
I am.
Wait,
Yeah.
I had another
All right.
question I was
Thank
going to ask,
God.
and I forgot what it was. Shit. Damn it. I'll remember.
JC, it's
right.
good to see you, bro. We had such a great time at Future Proof, man.
We did. We were just sitting there watching Third Eye Blind randomly.
Dude, what a scene.
So random. Me and Caleb in the back just watching Third Eye Blind. It's like, is this really happening right now? Are we really these songs that we used to listen to in high school, or at least I did. Caleb's a little younger than me, obviously. What do you think about these charts? Did you see my my Fab Four here?
I only tuned in on the Bitcoin portion. So what were the other three?
Let's give Caleb a quick little rewind. So in January, start with the technology, Spencer. So in January, coming into the year, I saw 5 charts and I said, if these 5 charts are above their prior cycle's highs, it's hard to be bearish. I think I called it like the 5 before the nosedive or something like that. Like if you thought that the market was going to collapse and these 5 charts needed to lose their highs. So technology, right? So this is January of this year. So this is technology breaking out of that base. Keep going. Go ahead. Industrials breaking out of that base. Again, this is back in January. Home builders breaking out of that base. Keep going. Broker dealers breaking out of that base. And semiconductors breaking out of that base. Same exact thing, all 5. So the argument was, if these are above the prior cycle's highs, then any correction that we see is just that. So if you want to play a correction, which we did in the first and second quarter, or mostly in the second quarter, it's just that. It's not the end of the world. It's just a correction within the context of an ongoing bull market. If these 5 are above their prior cycle's highs. Now, as it turned out, I didn't know at the time, but as it turned out, that was very helpful. That worked out very well. As we know, all of these continue to make new highs. Markets had a banner year. It's been great. Great.
Yeah.
Now, we are in the exact same situation with 4 new charts. So throw those up. Same thing. Amazon breaking out of this base, making new all-time highs. Dow Transports breaking out of this base, new all-time highs. Small caps breaking out of this base, new all-time highs. And Bitcoin breaking out of this base, new all-time highs. If these 4 charts are above their prior cycle's highs, it's hard to be bearish. Any corrections are going to come within the context of an ongoing bull market. So as helpful as those 5 were at the beginning of the year and throughout 2024 for that matter, I think these is the next generation of that in this bull market. How do you feel about that thesis?
Yeah, I mean, you were spot on when you were talking about those 5 in January. I remember that in real time, and those worked to perfection. I think these 4 would be great to keep an eye on. I'd maybe, if you want to keep it up with 5, I'd add 1 more, and I'd put in something like the iShares Expanded Tech ETF IGV. That's breaking and holding out to new all-time highs as well.
All right. I was going to tell you you're full of shit. Stop correcting me. You're right. You're absolutely right. Spot on, Caleb.
If I'm going to be devil's advocate to myself on that, though, that's already pretty extended now, right? I mean, that breakout to new all-time highs was at like 87.
So's Bitcoin. Yeah, but so's Bitcoin. Yeah, I think you're spot on. All right. I'm changing it. I'm adding another one. I'm adding one. Caleb's absolutely right. See, this is why we do this. You see, this is why we converse and share ideas. You're spot on, Caleb.
I actually wanted to come to you guys with a pretty cool IGV chart. If I can share my screen on that. Sure. It's a relative chart here with IGV that I think is pretty badass. This is IGV relative to the Qs. And this could be on the verge of making new 52-week highs. I think this would be super, super badass, right? Because this would basically be one of the first times we've been making new 52-week highs in a very long time. Another thing on this as well, right, is if you just want to keep it consistent versus tech, we can look at IGV relative to XLK, right? And XLK is obviously going to be super dominated by Apple, Microsoft, and NVIDIA thrown in there. But look, this is already achieving the breakout, right? And so again, this looks really solid even on a relative basis. If we're looking at software, which is going to be a little bit more of a riskier segment within the technology sphere relative to tech more broadly speaking, right?
Spencer, throw up slide 2 just to show everybody. Caleb's absolutely right, and I am changing my entire life because of this. No, but it is definitely a good fifth. I mean, it looks just like all the other ones. It looks like Amazon, looks like Bitcoin, looks like trannies, looks like small caps. See ya. Yep. Totally. All right. I'm into it. All right. So what else? What about commodities? What about other than gold and silver? Is this energy going to get going or what?
I don't think so. I think we're going to see crude break down.
You're not impressed with the energy stocks and how they've been behaving despite the struggles in crude oil?
I think that's a good sign, right? If you're bullish on crude, if you're bullish on commodities, if you're bullish on energy.
New 6-month highs for the XLE?
Is that right? Really?
Is it official? If we close the week here, granted it's Tuesday.
Okay, we're close.
But if we do close the week here, it will be new 6-month highs.
Okay. Well, I think that's what you want to see.
It would be new 26-week highs.
They've been resilient for sure, right? These energy stocks, they haven't been bad, but I think maybe on a relative basis, it's been pretty underwhelming.
Dawson asked a great question. I'm going to ask you the same question. He said, JC, is more than 10% of your net worth in crypto? The answer is very much yes. How about you? Is the answer yes?
Yeah, I'm closer to 60 or 70%.
Holy shit. 60, 70% of your entire net worth is in crypto?
Yeah.
Is that because you're making that allocation, or is it because of the success of those assets have appreciated and eaten into that weighting?
Both.
Nice.
Yeah. But I mean, right now I'm like, of that 70% allocation, I'm probably 80 to 85% BTC, and the rest is in Solana.
Yeah, but hold on. But you're a nomad, so do you own any real estate?
No.
Yeah, he's a nomad. He's just traveling all over Europe, living the dream, gallivanting all over the place. So like, he's liquid. He's just a liquid nomad.
Yeah.
I was once a liquid nomad, and I am less liquid these days, and more. I'm not going anywhere. People are like, JC, how do you have time to do this morning show every day? Where the fuck am I going? I got so many kids. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. Dude, look, I'm all over the world and I'm still doing this stuff, So I think we're just passionate, JC. That's what this is.
No, it's true. No matter how much money I have, I'm still going to wake up in the morning and check the futures. I'm still going to text my friends about, whatever, Slack, Strazza, about, whatever stock we're trading or whatever. I mean, I don't know any other way. Like, I don't understand. Like, okay, so let's say I have like more commas than zeros in my net worth. Okay, so am I gonna not do those things? Like, I don't see anything changing anytime soon, bro.
We have a sickness, man. We have a sickness.
Is it a sickness or is it a passion?
It's both. I mean, I'm using sickness in a fun way. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Because it can be a sickness. Like if you're taking time away from your family, or you're taking time away from your health, or you're taking time, you know what I mean? Then that definitely becomes a problem.
Yes.
Just to balance it out here, I'm at like 4 to 5%. Just so you know.
Those are rookie numbers, Spencer. We gotta put those numbers up.
25. I'm at like 4 to 5%, and it really, and I had to go and I had to like include the because I own the IBIT too. IBIT's an equity, but it's Bitcoin. So
yep.
Come on, Spencer. Stop being such a boomer.
4 to 5%. No, I agree. I probably should get more. But just to make chats or people watching seem less insane, if they're thinking like that they are way under invested.
How do you sleep at night knowing that you have such little exposure to the
Dude, do you want to know my freaking equity exposure
in human history? How do you sleep at night?
Most of my money is in like long-term retirement.
You look at your wife and say, "Sorry, sweetheart, I make poor choices." Like, is that what you say?
No. She has no idea. She didn't even know like we owned like crypto until like a couple days ago.
Daniel says we need a JC long-term portfolio allocation breakdown. My long-term portfolio allocation breakdown, I have a lot of stocks. I have a lot of crypto. For me, a lot of real estate. Retirement accounts with a lot of stocks, children's college funds with a lot of stocks. I have so many children's college funds. I got 529 plans coming out of my ears.
I bet you do.
So those are, my long-term plays are stocks and crypto and real estate, I guess, right? I got
Well,
I do some private investing too. I probably have another $1 million or so in private investments, maybe a little more than that. So
there's
can't
not much.
touch those, so by
There's not much
definition, they're
else, is
locked up.
there? There's not much else. There's like commodities and like bonds, right? Like,
What percentage of my net worth is in helium miners? Dude, I have so many. I have like probably like 400 helium miners going, and I've got pollen miners, and I've got the new helium, the 5G stuff going. I got these guys. They were engineers at ExxonMobil that were really smart, and they're like, we don't want to be engineers at ExxonMobil. We want to mine crypto instead. So they left ExxonMobil and started mining crypto. And I got in cahoots with these fellas, and they're just like way smarter than I am. So like they help me with all my mining operations. Yeah. JC didn't answer the question. Which question? What percentage is in helium miners? I don't know. Probably not enough. I mean, that's a lot. It's like we have this is a monster operation. Yeah, we got miners in different countries. There's probably miners in like 20 different countries.
Damn. You're in deep, bro.
Yeah. I mean, I've been long Bitcoin since 2014.
Yeah. Unreal.
So like, this isn't like I woke up this morning and it's like, oh, this crypto stuff
just
is
to be
kind of
clear,
interesting.
not continuously.
Yeah, continuously.
Continuously?
Nice.
I didn't realize that.
I didn't own what I own now then.
Oh yeah, okay. All right.
You know what I mean? But I definitely have continuously I've been long at all times, different sizes, obviously. But and then to be fair, full disclosure, for about a year and a half or 2 years of that, I forgot that I had Bitcoin.
That's the best kind of ownership right there.
Right.
Forget you own it, log out.
That's true.
In like 2016, I think I was walking out of a conference and I was walking with a journalist, and Lynette Lopez, and she goes to me, she's like, JC, didn't you like send me some Bitcoin a few years ago? And I was like, I did, didn't I? I'm like, there's a wallet somewhere with a bunch of crypto. And as it turns out, there was like 16 grand worth of Bitcoin in there.
And just to update everyone, I did get into my Coinbase account yesterday, so we're all good. I'm back in, baby.
Back in the game.
I'm back in the game.
Caleb, since we got you here live from the palace, what are we not talking about here? What do you think is getting lost?
What is getting lost? I mean, I kind of hinted at it earlier, but I think people are paying too much attention to yields in the dollar. I really do fundamentally believe that asset prices have continued to trend higher regardless of what yields are doing in this environment. And maybe that will change, right? So it's not, I'm not saying to not look at those things, but I do think it's unnecessary to read into them too much, right? And really kind of get lost in the minutia here. Don't miss the forest for the trees. We're in an uptrend. These are the periods where you make money as an investor. So unless you're trading yields or derivative instruments of the dollar, then, I think you can do fine without focusing on them entirely.
What are you thinking about rates in the dollar here? Been real messy, been real choppy, same levels they were at a year ago. Is trend remain sideways? Like, as somebody, you don't strike me as somebody who trades a lot of Forex or fixed income, but somebody who looks at these assets as more so for information. Do I have that right? Is that a right assessment?
Yeah, for sure. You kind of hinted at it, but I think the best case scenario that we could ask for as investors in risk assets is sideways dollar action, right? Because we have this tug of war. The Fed is cutting rates. We're in a disinflationary environment. All else being equal, that should bring yields down. But we have stronger than expected economic data keeping yields elevated, right? The market's feeling pretty optimistic about the economy as the Trump administration is about to come in. Tax cuts, deregulation, so on and so forth. So yields are moving higher, right? So we have this tug of war environment.
As somebody, I used to travel a lot internationally before I had kids, and now I don't go anywhere. I go to the liquor store. That's where I go. What are people saying out there now post-election? Equities ripping in everybody's face. Like, are people surprised by the outcome and the market reaction? Did everybody see it coming? What are you thinking out there?
I think a lot of my
the gringo, so people like to talk to you about this stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's asking me about the election, as of the past few months, and trying to pick my brain on what's going on there, what I think is going to happen, who I think is going to win, who I'm hoping is, the whole 9 yards.
Sure.
And I think I was a little bit interested. I've been basically overseas for more than 18 months now, and basically everywhere I've gone, people have been very pro-Trump, is what I would say from a foreign standpoint, right? And I think that's been interesting.
Tell everybody which countries you've been in specific.
Yeah, that matters.
Yeah.
That matters.
Mostly Eastern Europe, right? So, a lot of time in Hungary, Croatia, Montenegro, Albania. I'm in Romania, Istanbul, right? So basically that's been my playground, if you will.
And why do you think, is there like, they don't like communism? Is that part of it?
Yeah, I mean, they're
they're scared of communism, so when they see Kamala coming, they're like, holy shit, run the other way.
Yeah, I think they think that Americans are stupid for having the wool pulled over their eyes, that we should have those types of policies, right? Because they know firsthand what it was like, right? There was a girl who I was dating here for a while, and her mother used to wait in bread lines and food lines, and you were lucky to get chicken, right?
And then what? She got sick of you?
Yeah, pretty much, exactly. Yeah. But I think if we want to go back to the election stuff, right? I think the thing that everyone's happy about, and the thing that I think the market is happy about, is that we got a decisive winner.
Yeah.
With clarity really fast, right? With binary outcomes, the
And
market
like it wasn't even close. Like the
Exactly.
world knows that this lady never stood a chance, and it was a complete landslide. So it's not like, well, some of the country doesn't like it doesn't matter. Like it's not even close, right? And
Yeah,
I think the landslide probably helps also, to your point, no?
Exactly right. Because I mean, the one thing we know for a fact is that the market does not like uncertainty. And so when you have a binary outcome, it's almost more important to just get past the result than the result itself, right? So, that's why fundamentally, right, when we're looking at these seasonality charts about the election year and, the 7 days leading into the election and the 7 days after and 30 days after, good things tend to happen during that period because we're getting closer to the end of uncertainty, and then it becomes in our rearview mirror and the market can be forward looking again.
Caleb, what's the largest exposure to an individual stock that you've got?
Palantir.
Wow, really?
Yeah, that's been my top equity holding now for 2 years, and then Google and Brookfield Corporation are the second and third.
That's why he's coming in hot with that IGV chart. He's like, yo, you're missing one, Jay. You're missing one.
Yep.
I see you. You're right. And I've been, we've been talking about this IGV chart also. I guess I had a brain fart and I didn't include it in my 5. But you're spot on. It needs to be in it.
Thanks, man. Yeah. Another one to keep an eye on as well, I think, would be cybersecurity. So you can look at Hack or CIBR.
They're going to look, the Hack looks like the IGV.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say is those cybersecurity stocks are pretty well represented within software as a whole, right? So they're gonna mirror each other well enough, but just, some more alpha for people. Keep an eye on that one too.
You think that's why Tel Aviv is doing so well? Every time I show that Tel Aviv chart making new all-time highs, people are like, how is that possible? There's a war in the Middle East. I'm like, bro, when is there not a war in the Middle East?
Yeah. I mean, they do a lot of business intelligence, data analytics, cybersecurity, right? So basically a lot of software names. And so if software is doing well, generally speaking, because investors are willing to increase their risk appetite, probably doesn't matter where they are geographically. Those stocks are going to have the same margins, the same earnings expectations on the aggregate. So good vibes,
Definitely. What time is it over there?
It's 4:30 p.m.
Well, sounds like it's happy hour time.
Getting close.
Nice, dude. Nice.
Dude,
all right,
really,
Caleb. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Nice little impromptu session. I love it. I love it. Adding value to the conversation. We appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for having me. As always, guys. Great to see you.
All right. Go get them.
Peace.
That was fun. Spontaneous. Spontaneity.
What?
Spontaneity. It was fun.
Yeah. No, we like it. We like it. He does look like royalty, like between the Airbnb he's in.
Someone said he looked like the guy from Stranger Things. I kind of see that actually. I think Steve is his name. I kind of see that.
He plays, I don't know, was it the cello that Caleb plays? I think he plays the cello or the stand-up bass. I'm not smart enough to know the difference between the two. I believe the stand-up bass and the cello, one is larger than the other, is my understanding. But I see these freaks in the subway in New York dragging their cellos around in the subway. You see those guys?
Yes, I have seen them in the past.
That can't be fun. But I mean, I get it. Like if you live like in Harlem and you got to go down to the West Village for a show, you got to bring the thing.
Go anywhere in the city for 250 or whatever it costs now, 275. Okay, couple stocks I want to talk about here that are Strazza is having a great morning. I haven't spoken to him, but I can already tell. SEC Limited is up 20%. And Fonz is saying it doubled on the Brick and multiplier. That's great. So this chart does not show that, but it's up 20% this morning on their earnings report. So congrats to everyone that was in this one with Steve and Brick and multiplier. They've been crushing it. This one they put on a couple weeks ago, I think, and awesome. So that's the big gainer of the day. This and Shopify. Shopify is also up 20% this morning on their earnings report. Shopify crushed it across the board. Every major number came in above estimates. The revenue, the EPS, the gross merchandise volume, all beat. So great morning here for growthy tech, growthy international tech, no less. And that's kind of it. There's a few more, but
interesting bounce back here in crude oil. That's what's standing out to me. I mean, all these tech stocks and everything, and these consumer discretionary stocks continuing to break out. Like, that's not surprising. The strength in energy stocks, despite the struggles in crude oil, is somewhat surprising, for sure.
Surprising, but not like a bad thing, right?
Well, it's a function. Is it a function of the equities market? Just stocks are ripping, and energy stocks are by definition stocks.
Money has to come from somewhere, JC.
Money has to come from somewhere. Looks like it's coming out of consumer staples.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh my goodness, some of these staples charts look rough, like Coke,
and some of these healthcare names too.
Yeah, PPH, the pharmaceutical.
And then the fat pill drugs, like the people who, instead of exercising and eating healthy like a normal person, they want to take a fat pill.
Yeah, Novo. Holy crap!
These things are getting clobbered. Couldn't have happened to better people.
Yeah, Novo. Wow. How's Eli doing?
Exercise, and eat healthier. You don't have to take a fat pill, dummy. Like, are you kidding me? And then what about this fake meat? Fake meat? Really?
I have not looked at Beyond Meat in months. It's a $5 stock.
Plants? Eat the fucking cow.
This is JC. No one ever said that the Beyond Meat stuff was good for you. They said it was an alternative to meat. That's all it is.
Poison,
if you don't want to eat,
bro, it's poison.
If you don't want to eat meat, eat that. But and I've had it before and it tastes fine. Whatever. It's salty, but that's a $5 stock. All-time high is $239. Crazy. No,
fake
right about that
meat.
one.
Get out of here. I want to eat like carrots that are made out of pork. So it's like pork, but it's like a shape of a carrot or something. Like now we're talking. Like, I want vegetables made out of meat.
Fake vegetables that are actually
fake vegetables made out of meat.
There's a market for that. There's definitely a market for that.
Hell yeah.
Now we're talking. All right, let's do retesting and hop out of here. All right. How about that? We have it's a bull market. We have things to buy.
So yesterday I'm cutting onions like a normal person. I've been cutting onions next to my kids their entire lives. And yesterday my daughter was being a little dramatic because the onion got in her eyes, right? Like, because of the thing, right? My wife's freaking out. Like, why would you cut onions next to your daughter? You're hurting your eyes. I'm like, sweetheart, you make it sound like I shot her. It's literally onions. Like, it couldn't be any healthier. Yeah, it burns her eyes a little bit. It's not going to hurt her. Like the drama of the women in my household sometimes, they're just onions. She's fine. Just go to the living room for 30 seconds and your eyes will be good as new. It's just onions.
You're supposed to chew gum. Well, not that she can chew gum, but you're supposed to chew gum while you cut onions. So.
Dude, I have onion glasses. They're like fluorescent green. They don't work. The onion juice still gets in my eyes. The way to do it is you need contact lenses.
What? Really?
Yeah, my wife has contact lenses and she has super sensitive eyes, but that doesn't affect her at all.
I didn't know that.
So anyway, that was the debate at the Parets household yesterday before dinner. as I'm grilling the onion, grilling the steaks, making the vegetables, cutting the onions. I'm getting yelled at for hurting our daughter. She was perfectly fine. It's just onions. It's not a big deal.
Next time, hold her hand and have cut it with her.
Well, that was part of the problem. I had her a little too close. So
yeah,
my wife did have a little bit of a point, but the point is she was fine. It's a goddamn onion. It's not a big deal.
My recess is I'll drop the link in the chat again. But again, if you missed the stream yesterday, the crypto stream with JC and Louie, they are all in this crypto bull market. We have entered a new paradigm. Things are ripping. Bitcoin's ripping, and that's not even the best part of the story. The best part is that there's things down the cap scale that are ripping even more than Bitcoin. They talked all about that yesterday. I just dropped the link in the chat one more time. Highly recommend if you are like me and you only have 4% of your net worth in crypto and you need more. They walk through some ideas of how they find cryptos to buy, what they like right now, and we'll get you in the mood to do some buying. So check it out. There's the link in the chat. And as far as today goes, we got Spaces at 11. We got the Flow Show at 1. And I think that's all. That's all we got here. So we'll hop out early. Strazza will be back tomorrow. On tomorrow's show, actually, is going to be good. We'll have Eric Balchunas on the show, JC.
Oh, so nice. Hopefully I'm not too hungover. Like, it is a bull market Philly party tonight.
That's right. He is from Philly.
Home late. But I want to be there for the Balchunas. He's the man. Dude.
Well, he's from Philly.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's from Philly. He lives in Philly. So
I wonder if he's going to be there tonight.
You can ask him tomorrow. How about that?
He might be there with me tonight, actually, now that I think about it.
I don't know.
He might be there.
I don't know.
I hope he is. I like him a lot.
All right, we'll find out. Smash the like. Go make some money. All right, guys?
I would have apologized, but I didn't do anything wrong. It was just an onion. I wasn't hurting my child. Normally is right. Just apologize. It's easier that way. I didn't do anything wrong, so I'm not going to lie to my wife. I'm not sorry. I didn't do anything wrong.
I could sum up JC's ethos in one sentence is, I would have apologized, but I didn't do anything wrong.
I'm not sorry. I was just cutting goddamn onions. Jesus.
I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs.